Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Sports Fellas.
Sportsfellas.
I am missing the NFL season already. Well, before we get talking, let's go ahead and let's give our quick introduction here.
It's your boy Tristan.
It's your boy Edward.
What's up, guys? It's your Buckeye believing Rock Chalk Jayhawk and Wichita State shocking Who Day hopeful Chris with a K.
And this is your host, Carlson. You know, by the way, you said all those teams there. Didn't they all lose? KU, Kansas lost, Wichita State lost.
I think Ohio State won yesterday.
Well, that's in Ohio.
Hey,
Shout out to all our Ohio State fans out there. Well, real quick, we're going to do is we're going to have a quick breakdown of the NFL season. We're going to recap a couple games in the division, and as well, we're going to also introduce, moving on forward to college basketball preview. We're going to also be talking about the NBA and baseball, if we even have a baseball season. We'll see. But before that, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thanks to our following sponsors.
What's up, folks? It's your pal, Chris with a K. Let me introduce you to a new friend of mine, Ryan Wagner at Wags Sports Memorabilia in Des Moines, Iowa. Your number one source for sports memorabilia. We're talking hats, t-shirts, jackets, and all sorts of other items. And not only that, Ryan can get you any of these items for any team, NCAA, NFL, NBA, and the Major League Baseball guys. So make sure if you're in Iowa, and especially Des Moines, stop in at Wags Sports Memorabilia. Also find them on the web at www.wagsports.com. Thanks, Ryan. You guys have a great day.
Okay, you guys. So the season's over. The Los Angeles Rams became two-time Super Bowl champions.
Yep, congratulations.
It was a great game. It's the second time in NFL history that the hosting team wins the Super Bowl. So that's kind of unique. I wonder if that's a conspiracy.
I know. Hey,
I wonder.
there's
I
been
don't
lots
know.
of conspiracies this postseason, I believe. There was conspiracies after the, you know, hey, maybe there was because they didn't think that that there'd be good enough excuses for Patrick Mahomes to lose to the Rams. So
Well,
they didn't want to put him in that position. And
for the fans out there, Chris, and since you're a diehard Cincinnati Bengal fans, how'd you take it with that loss?
ooh, that was a rough Monday, rough Sunday night and Monday. But you know, every day gets a little brighter. But yeah, that was a pretty. I'm sure my Chiefs fans remember their last year.
Yeah.
That
When they got spanked?
well, yeah, that one probably hurt it a little more. This was at least pretty close, but
That wasn't even a game.
it was tough. The end of the game was really tough to watch. When I saw Burrow get twisted up, my heart sank. I knew that was it. I mean, that was probably the third or fourth time he got hit right there in a row, just like four dropbacks, bam, bam, bam.
I wonder what drop was worse, that or when Mary J. Blige fell that
on the back.
performance. I was like, is she going to get back up? Or I was wondering if 50 Cent was going to fall. Poor guy. I mean, that guy, he looked like he was about to fall. I was like, okay, don't fall. Please don't fall.
I kind of wish. I know. I mean, I understand why they brought 50 Cent out, but I kind of wish they would have just put it on another Dre song instead of surprise guest of 50 Cent. But hey, whatever. It was an okay halftime. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't the best by any means, but
Ed, what'd you think about the game?
It was just very intense, really. It was an intense game from the start to the finish. Just that last play call, it was terrible. Terrible.
How about you, Tristan?
I felt like the refs didn't do anything all game. And then the
Until the
very
end.
last drive, that's when they wanted to start being refs.
How many penalties was on there? Was it 3 or 4?
It was
that counted.
4.
It was
I
4.
think it was 4.
I was just
Yeah,
saying.
that's
get them the touchdown. So let's get back on the field, in which they had plenty of time, if I'm not mistaken. They had plenty of time to go back because I know the kicker was getting prepared. I was like, oh, imagine if he would have hit the
he was
game-winning
ready.
field goal. Oh, it would have been
Tied it
over.
up.
It would have been over. No, they would have won it because it was 22 to 20.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe so. It was 22-20. They were supposed to. That could have went for the game-winning field goal. I don't think it was for a tie-up.
I thought it was
What was the score?
I think it would have tied it.
23 to 20. 23
Okay,
20.
23
That's what we're-
20. Okay, so it
The
tied.
man in the back has given us the
Thank you
score.
for the people behind the scenes. They keep my job. I appreciate it. But other than that, so now let's go ahead. Let's dive in real quick. Let's just talk about the season, and then that will lead us up into the Super Bowl. Okay, so let's give a quick shout out for the NFC side. Let's go ahead and thank all the Green Bay Packer fans. You guys were 13-4. You won the division. I'm going to start this off with you, Chris. So Green Bay right now is in a little disarray because we don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Whatever he's on, I want to know because he's on this sabbatical. I don't know what he's doing, but he's professing love. He's thanking everybody. I don't know about the discount double checks he's offering, but it must be good because he's on something. So can you help me out? Where do you see them repeating the division for next year? What do you kind of see in the mist for them next year?
Assuming that Rodgers is there, assuming Aaron Rodgers decides to go back to, which I don't know that that's a big assumption, but assuming he does, yes, I think it's their division to lose. There's not a lot. You got new coaching staffs in Chicago and Minnesota. The Lions are the Lions. So even I think that Goff is still locked in for another year there, maybe even 2 with the contract that they traded him on. So, yeah, I think that they're still the division champs. I don't know if I think the football gods are kind of pissed at Rodgers toying around with the Packers like he is. It just keeps setting him up in those playoffs. Drop him down. So
it's just his defense, really. I mean, because offensive wise,
he's had some
pretty good,
pretty rough offense. I mean, the playoff game, they weren't exactly lighting up the offensive. It was like, I mean, it was 13-10. What was the? It was a low scoring game.
Low scoring, but special teams. San Francisco came up on special teams, and also
right, but
that pressure that they were.
Aaron Rodgers couldn't get 2 touchdowns at home.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean that's really his main thing. I mean, in
So-
the end,
Now, is that LaFleur? Is Shanahan just that much better? Because Shanahan's beaten LaFleur, or beaten the Packers a few times now in the playoffs.
Yeah,
And-
2 times already.
Well, the regular season game was close, but I think
Yeah, it was
Packers-
close. Crosby hit a game-winning
That's
field
right.
goal.
The usual.
that's why we love the NFL though. It's usually close, but yeah, my guess is that they're going to have a similar season that they've had the last few. He's going to have an MVP kind of season and peter out at the end.
Who won the MVP this year?
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
Again. All right, Tristan.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I don't see Aaron Rodgers staying. I feel like he's kind of had it with organization based off, everything that's been going on. And
He
Devontae
acts like
Adams
that
not-
and then comes
Yeah.
around at the next second. He's like, "No, I love these guys. I'm just trying to work it out." Like,
yeah.
He's,
Well, and they might not have Devontae Adams either. So
yeah, I think they're
aren't
looking
both
maybe
free
yeah.
they can
yes.
franchise tag. They can franchise tag him.
I thought that Rodgers has one more year technically, but
No, they're all both on.
They're both
They're
free
both
agent.
on. That was their year of the contract, but the GM, the Packers GM, said that there was never discussed about trading him. So I don't know what's all going on there. But here's my thing, Tristan. I was going to say for Green Bay, they can control the North, literally, because it's like what Chris mentioned. Chicago's in rebuilding. Detroit's Detroit. There's not much to say in Detroit. and Minnesota. Now, Minnesota's kind of unique here. I wonder what they're going to do because the first person you think of in Minnesota, you think of Kirk Cousins. You might
I
say
think of
Dalvin
Dalvin
Cook.
Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, watch. Because literally,
Jefferson.
Jefferson's, he's the star. Okay, but you have such weapons already on the team. Start working on defense. Because you said it yourself, Mike Zimmer is a great defensive coordinator, but why can he never get Minnesota over the hump? And look at the games that they lost. Barely. I mean, a couple of them.
They lost us barely the first game of the season against Cincinnati. It was a tight game right there at the end.
So, to me, I still think Green Bay's still going to sit on top. But we'll discuss later on who might make improvements. So maybe one of the teams there might make an improvement. Let's go ahead and let's move on to the NFC South. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They finished off 13-4, former Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady they just could not get it done defensively last second. I mean, Matthew Stafford came out there, torched the corner. So I'm going to start this off with you, Tristan. So with Tampa Bay, do you see them with Tom Brady supposedly retired, unless he's going Hollywood? Do you feel Tampa Bay is going to repeat the division, or we're going to see a new team on the rise?
I can still see them repeating the division, even without Tom Brady. I think they have great offensive weapons, and their defense is spectacular. So even without Tom Brady, if they get a mediocre quarterback, I think they'll still win that division just because the other teams, I don't think the other teams have as much superstars as Tampa Bay does. They're just very well rounded.
Yeah, because I mean, for example, with the Falcons, Matt Ryan, but really that whole team's on rebuilding mode. Carolina can't seem to find a quarterback. Saints, same will. They're in between of either believing in Taysom Hill or not believing in him. So it's just it's just a mess with the other three teams. And like Tristan said, the Tampa Bay Bucks, their defense is still great. Offense, they still have great weapons. You still have, Chris Godwin, whenever he comes back. You got Evans, Scotty Mill, O.J. Howard. Has Rob retired yet? Gronk?
Not
No.
yet.
Not yet.
But he is a free agent, though.
Yeah.
I'm aware he's
He
a
was
free
only
agent.
on a one-year deal.
He's contemplated that he would love to play in Cincinnati, which would be not bad.
He talked about it. I don't know if that just knowing Cincinnati's front office, they're not big on older players. So
Right. Well, they have the. I mean,
I'd like to see-
Uzuma's a good tight
Yeah,
end.
but
He did a couple of great
Gronk
plays.
is a Hall of Famer. Like,
Well, do a dual tight end system that could
Oh,
help. But the
that's
problem
the
is you guys
that's
need
the
a
other-
line. You guys still need a line.
But that's the other thing. Taylor runs a very much of a three wide out sets primarily. He very rarely runs a double tight end, so it's not.
You're making it tough. I'm trying
I
to
know.
push for Gronk to
I
go to
know.
Cincinnati, and you just keep shooting me down.
It'd be interesting, but I don't know if we don't need this. We don't need the sideshow.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that.
We got business to
On
take
my
care
end,
of, so.
when you talked about having a mediocre quarterback, why not go after Jimmy Garoppolo? I think Jimmy Garoppolo would be a
I think
great
he would be
fit
a
for-
great.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And okay, tickle.
If he was there, I think that they would definitely do good. I mean, Bruce Arians is. I don't think he's going anywhere.
No,
and
everyone's still pretty much
The other
there.
thing would be, I think Fournette, where their running game is at, and where they're at on signing some of those defensive players. But I mean, it seems like it's their division to lose. But I mean, it's the NFL, so anything can happen, and you never know what's going to happen. We're going to have see a new coach probably in New Orleans because Peyton is taking a break or sabbatical or whatever. Trying to get to Dallas. Some
and
people
Alvin
are
Kamara's
saying-
dealing with legal issues right
Oh,
now. So
Yeah.
that's that. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. I think Tampa Bay will do it. But here's my thing. Here's my thing, Chris. Here's my thing. If it's the case that they find a quarterback that will mesh well with the line and being able to distribute the ball, they could focus on just running the ball, and then get the other, because you got Evans, you got Godwin. I mean, you have, what's that other wide receiver that stepped up? Mitch, what's his name? The wide receiver. Oh,
Wilcox? No.
no. See, this is what happens. You see, I
Yeah,
see it.
Wait, was
I
his
s-
last name like Johnson? Something Johnson.
Could
I
be.
know they have a
There's-
Tyler Johnson. I don't know if that's the one that stepped
Okay.
up.
Well, see, I failed you guys again. You see, this is why I'm trying to do my best to keep you guys on here. I don't want to be like, man, those guys at Sportsfellas don't even know the names. But hey, you know what? We keep it local. We keep it friendly. But the story goes is that I would like to see Tampa Bay, when they rebuild, start now. Bruce Arians can now have a little bit, because I still believe Tom Brady still was not coachable. Because Tom Brady's like, hey, I've been here, done that. What have you done?
You're doing.
It's kind of
what
like
I
Peyton
said.
Manning when he was in Denver. I mean, he butt heads with a couple of the coordinators because he's like, you don't know what you're doing. And then finally, someone stood their ground. Coach, what's his name? Coach Kubiak told him, "No, I'm the coach. You're the player. You're gonna listen." So there's got to be a sense of balance. Because Bill Belichick didn't play that. Bill Belichick said, "I'm the coach."
Yep.
There's just no way around it. Now let's go ahead. Let's move on to the NFC East. Your team, Ed, the Dallas Cowboys, aka America's team. So you guys finished off 12-5 in a early exit. Yeah,
Per usual.
very
Yes.
quiet. It was very
The
quiet
very
that day.
same
You had
here.
the 49ers fans go out there. I can see little pockets of red, in there. I saw it. So Ed, I'm gonna start this off with you. What do you see Dallas doing for next year? You still believe they'll still have the division?
Yeah, they'll most definitely win the division, but that's about it. They're usually, just one and done. So I don't, see much of improvement. Because in the end, I feel like it's all like the issues. It's really just with the higher up, Jerry Jones.
The front office
So-
stuff, yeah.
If that doesn't change, or if he doesn't give the go-to to Mike McCarthy, if he's still there, I just don't see them going anywhere. So
Yeah, I see the Cowboys taking the division again. Similarly with the Bucks, I feel like they're best suited in that division. Have the best defense, definitely by far.
Oh, Micah Parsons is
yeah,
a freak.
yeah, and
That kid's he might
he's
just
ridiculous.
if anyone can get him
he's
on the defensive side, that kind of guy is
yeah,
gonna.
he's just different.
Well, and Diggs,
yeah.
that was a big get.
They're just
too.
very well rounded on that defense, in my opinion.
I agree.
now, yeah.
Dallas surprised us all in the way that they offensively they were. I mean, I remember when they were like 3-0, and they beat Carolina. Carolina was hot.
Yeah, the
Right
best
when they
defense
faced
of the
Dallas, that's
time.
when they went down the hill. But interestingly enough, my team, the Denver Broncos, we paid a visit in Dallas, and shout out to my friend Luis Carbajal, a huge Cowboys fan. We were sitting there. I could tell he was a little depressed. He was a little depressed. I told him, "Hey, I didn't do anything. I'm just watching the game and just watching Denver just have it with Dallas."
Yeah.
And then they went to Arrowhead, and there goes Kansas City. They stomped Dallas there, and then they just had these losses, critical losses wrap up. And when I see Dallas on paper, they've got the weapons.
Yep.
Dak, he's just like my stock exchange, my stock portfolio. It's just inconsistent.
Yeah,
He's
up and down.
inconsistent.
Yep.
And then Zeke, I don't know what in the world's going on with him. If the Dallas fans can help me out, understand, is Zeke going to stay productive or not? Because he's killing your guys' pocket. He is. But defensively, Parsons, that guy is awesome. Him and Diggs. Now, Diggs, we need to watch out a little bit. He kind of got a little, his clout went up a little bit, and he got burned on a couple plays. But
Good hands, but got beat so many times.
But
So
here's
many.
my thing.
Trying
But
to
hey,
make that
why don't you
INT.
get advice from Jalen Ramsey? Because in that Super Bowl, he was getting beat a little bit himself, even with the little face mask. But it's okay. Who am I to judge?
Nah, Jalen Ramsey's still a GOAT.
He's still good. I mean, he's still good. But all right, so let's go ahead and move to the last team here in the NFC, and we have the West. Your Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams. Shout out to Josh. Congratulations being that 2-time Super Bowl champion. It was great watching the Super Bowl there with him. I know he was stoked. He was happy. So they finished off 12-5, and yeah, they won the Super Bowl, beating your team, Chris, the
Yes,
Cincinnati
they
Bengals.
did.
So I'm going to go ahead and start it off with you. Where do you see them for next year?
Well, it's probably going to have to do with what they do with all this superstar power coming back, and I think Aaron Donald's made some comments as to that. With him, I think he's said that he's definitely coming back now, but he was making some points to say, "Hey, we need to keep all these guys together that you just brought together for this team." So, I think that they're a good team. They're a very good team. Obviously, they've finished 12-5, so they were right there. I think I feel like maybe Eric or someone had him as a early on preseason Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, let's give a shout out to our friend Eric here, big
our
Steeler fans.
Steeler
He
fan.
called that the Rams would go, and so I'm going to give him his respect. Shout out to you, my friend. Right now, he is focusing on getting a promotion, in the Air Force. So, hey,
nice. Good job,
we're
buddy.
praying for you. Make sure you get it. If not, don't come back to the studio.
I don't see.
I'm
a
just
lot
joking. I'm just joking.
I mean, depending on how Trey Lance comes together in San Francisco, that's obviously, San Francisco's kind of had the Rams number and was really starting to gel there at the end of the year. And so that's their biggest competition. I don't think that the Cardinals really have the depth and experience in a lot of positions in the coaching as well to compete against Shanahan and McVay. You're talking about two Super Bowl, AFC championship guys or NFC championship guys year in and year out with those two. And who knows what's going on with Seattle, man. So between LA and San Fran, that's my pick on next year's NFC West.
Well, actually, I'm going between the Rams and the Cardinals. I
Yeah?
like the Cardinals. I think,
Over San Francisco?
Yeah.
Didn't San Francisco beat him in the postseason?
Yeah. Well, no.
No.
It was the Rams who beat the Cardinals.
Okay.
But
stomped them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the Cardinals, they couldn't keep everybody healthy.
True.
They had so many injuries throughout the season. They didn't have a full roster with all the superstars. And I think they just need to – that just gave them more experience, Kyler Murray, more playoff experience. And I think it's just up from here for them. So I feel like the Cardinals are the biggest threat. But with everybody coming back for the Rams, I still think it's the Rams division.
Mm-hmm.
See, with me, I think that sleeper will probably be the 49ers just because, I mean, the talent is there. The coaching is there.
That's what I like about Dallas Cowboy fans. The new era one. The new era, not the old guys. The new era. They're realistic. And I like that, Ed. Thank you. I'm gonna vouch for you on that because the thing is, San Francisco, look how far they went as they were dwindling down. I mean, they were in the trenches. They were out there winning these games, and they just came up short against the Rams. Now, I'm not going to blame it 100% on Jimmy Garoppolo, but look how far they went. They peaked at the right time. Now, to what you said about Seattle, that's all from Russell Wilson, Coach Carroll, and on up to the front office. They have weapons. I mean, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, they're still good.
Looked like off this year, though.
It's kind of like his hairdo is just kind of off a little bit.
Something wasn't gel. There wasn't enough gel or something. I don't know.
Not enough color.
Yeah.
He was just. They need to just get together, have a moment of all of them getting together when that time comes, and they gotta let. What was the saying? Let Russell cook, or what was that? Come on, you guys
I have
don't.
no clue.
Man, gosh, you guys are
saying?
no help. But
Saying
anyways,
of what?
so let Russell. I don't know.
Was he
It was a
wanting to
little.
leave?
The thing is when Russell Wilson is taking control and not trying to like, what do I do next? What do I do next?
Yeah,
He's
just-
on it. I mean,
yeah,
the guy's on it.
Oh, he's lights out, man.
So I still believe that the Rams are still going to be a menace in the NFC West. I mean, but San Francisco's right there because they have the formula to beat them. They know it.
Yeah.
They know it. It's like, oh, I bet you when they're looking at the calendar, they're like, okay, so we got to play these guys twice. Okay, we got to focus here and here. Now, Arizona, we just don't know yet. We just don't know. I mean, because Hopkins was out. That hurt them.
Yeah, as soon
That
as
hurt them.
Hopkins went out,
So
it was like, did everyone else forget
and
how
if-
to catch the
And then
ball?
if Christian Kirk, if he stays, relevant and staying consistent, the guy is also a weapon too. He's a menace as well. But right now, I still think because they're just going to come off that Super Bowl high, that it'll be the Rams for the taking. So let's go ahead and move on real quick to the AFC side. We're going to start off with Chris's team, the
North.
NFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals. They end up winning the division. They went 10-7 on the way to the Super Bowl. So what do you see for Cincinnati next year, Chris?
Well, just first off, super surprised that they made it where they did. I actually, if you go back and listen, I called them with a 10-7 record. I did not think that was going to be enough to win the division. I was hoping maybe a wild card. So pretty surprised that they were able to pull it off with the 10-7. We'll see what happens with the line. I mean, it's going to depend for Cincinnati if their line is, if they decide to address that or not, because I think Pittsburgh is getting retooled. Baltimore is going to probably come back a little more. Talk about an injured-laden team, man. Baltimore, holy shnikes. They have like their 10th running back in the game at some point.
I even
And-
tried to apply.
They were playing with their second and third
Corners
quarterbacks and corners, and they had just not just regular, your regular injury issues, but there at the end of the season they were having massive COVID outages where they were just having 10, 12 guys out a game. And so I think Baltimore is going to come back pretty strong. This is going to be a really, and I feel like it usually is, this is going to be a really good division to watch next year, I think, because I think Baltimore is going to come back in with a vengeance. Steelers, you can't ever count out. It doesn't matter who's throwing the ball for them, even if it's an old shriveled Ben Roethlisberger, they still make the playoffs somehow. So, I mean, I got to go from a hometown, Cincinnati, maybe going more like 12-5, 13-4 this year, picking up a couple more.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I mean, it's a hit or miss between the Ravens and the Bengals, but I just may have to stick with the Bengals just because it's just, the offense, that they have. Their secondaries, it's okay. Their front five, it's not too bad. But I mean, as long as, like Chris said, they fix their O-line, I think.
Well, we know Eli Apple struggled in that Super Bowl. I mean, he was getting a lot of criticism for not being able to cover Cooper Kupp. But hey,
it looked like all the receivers in the entire.
Well,
league
he's
was
not the number.
around him, bro.
yeah, it's just
He's not the number one either. So, I mean, they were moving Cooper Kupp to get him stacked on certain other guys. So that's what you want to do, though. I mean,
Right,
he's your best
right.
player. So
go ahead. Just
How about what? Just to
AFC North.
he forgot now. Let's refresh his
AFC
memory.
North.
Oh, Eli
Yeah,
Apple's
they-
overrated.
yeah.
Yeah, I stick with. I stand by
I mean,
But AFC North, who do you got?
yeah.
that. I got Baltimore.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, and
They're
believe it or
gonna-
not,
That's just because that's who you guys can.
here's the
beat.
thing. And here's the thing, you guys. This is why the Ravens are a dangerous team. The thing is that Baltimore, they've got a good run team. When they played the Chiefs that Sunday night game, they had to use everybody in their arsenals to beat the Chiefs. It wasn't this was a capitalized win. It's one of those games. They went in the trenches. They had to use everybody. Mark Andrews is a stud,
beast.
tight end, tight end. And I look at the Ravens and I'm looking at the Bengals. These guys are going to fight for that division. They're going to fight, and it's going to be playoff bound. Cincinnati already has experience, and they're young. So this is like, hey, we've tasted it. We experienced it. Now we need to do is learn from our previous mistakes that we did and start getting better. And that's theirs for the
Hopefully.
taking. So for now, I'm going to take the Ravens just because they were missing in action. They have their players, but I will not count out the Bengals because the Bengals have been there already.
I agree.
I truly believe we have not seen the last of the Bengals.
No.
They're going to be back. They're going to be back.
As long as Burrow's on a rookie contract.
Correct.
Cool Joe. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the AFC South. The Tennessee Titans won the division by beating the Colts it was the last game. They beat them for it. They ended up where it was 12-5, but they had an early exit, number one seed, early exit to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm going to start this off with you, Ed. All right, so Derrick Henry, that was very admirable of him playing the last game. Still a threat. They still have some key wide receivers in A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, a little here, a little there.
Yeah.
But so what I want to ask you is, do you still think that the Tennessee Titans can still hold on the AFC South, or do you believe, for example, like our friend Kyle here, huge Colts fans, shout out to the Colt fans, that the Colts are going to realize, hey, we made a mistake in this games. We need to let Jonathan Taylor take care of the ball a little bit more, or what do you see? What's going on? Where do you see Tennessee holding on the division or not?
I still think they will probably hold off onto the division just because the Colts, I feel they still need like another year. With Carson Wentz, Jonathan Taylor, Mike Pittman. So it's kind of hard to say, the Colts could, surpass them. But yeah, I think I'll stick with the Titans for now.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be between the Colts and the Titans. And as of right now, like Edward said, I still think it's the Titans who are going to take that division. I think they just have a much more experienced, well-rounded team. And Carson Wentz hasn't developed or gotten used to their playbook. It's his first year, and he messed up a lot, definitely a lot. So, yeah, I'm going with Titans.
And then with, Ryan Tannehill, just the experience, like he's ready right now.
I am going to throw out this crazy idea. I think the Jags are going to just
Whoa.
Yeah, new coaching staff, and Trevor Lawrence is actually going to get coached properly for the NFL. Sorry, Urban Meyer.
They do
but
have some
You're just not a
underrated
good
players,
coach.
I think.
Well,
They-
they're getting
they
a Super
won
Bowl.
some-
They're getting a Super Bowl coach, and Coach Pierce.
Peter, yeah, and he was a good coach. I felt like he got kind of raw dogged in Philly on his way out. I mean, 2 years before he had won a Super Bowl, and you're kicking the guy to the curb. Seriously,
That's Philly fans.
it
for you.
is, man. It's a shame because I think he's a great coach, and yeah, I think that a really good coach like that can turn. I mean, look what happens when you have a superstar talent like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. takes a few bounces of the ball the right way, and you're in the Super Bowl. I mean, and so I don't know. I think they're going to probably have a weak schedule because they're at the bottom. They're going to get some good talent this year in the draft, being near the top of the draft every round. I think they're going to kind of surprise everyone. I think Tennessee's going to have a regression. I think Tannehill, I think he's spent. I think he's done. Texans, who knows? And I'm not even sure Wentz is going to be sticking around. Colts,
Yeah,
is he?
I
He's a
wasn't thinking
free
he was
agent, I
sticking
think.
around.
So
Yeah, they were talking about trade talks with him.
so I don't know what's
I
happening.
agree. I think they can move from 4th to 3rd place.
So
What a progression there.
Agreed.
Well, here's my thing. I mean, the AFC South is kind of interesting because you have Jacksonville and Houston kind of on a rebuild. The Colts, like I said, they've got weapons. I mean, you already got a stud and running back in Jonathan Taylor, so that's fine. And then wide receiver wise, they're missing somebody. T.Y. Hilton is not the same. He's digressed, and Carson Wentz, who knows? I mean, they could probably do a Jared Goff and Stafford kind of scenario, trade Wentz off to somebody and then bring somebody in. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But right now, with Tennessee, I feel they have more weapons to carry on, but they're going to have a tough schedule because they won the division. So they'll have to play Kansas City. They'll have to play Buffalo. They'll have to play Cincinnati again. And I don't know who they're going to play in the remainder of the schedule, so it's not going to be easy for them. So let's go ahead and move on to the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills, again, winning the division. They finished off 11-6. They had another exit by your team, Tristan, the Kansas City
Love to
Chiefs.
hear it.
That was the game of the year. That was a phenomenal game.
Craziness.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start this off with you, Tristan. Do you see Buffalo repeating again?
Yes, I do. I think they have I mean, it's not a young team like Cincinnati, but it's still a pretty young team. Maybe invest in a bigger running back, something if they want to invest in their run game. But I don't really see that as a problem because they're more of an air raid team like the Chiefs are. So I think everything's there for them. They have a great defense, great offense. I think they'll repeat.
Yeah, I mean, all around, the Bills just have the better team, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots, came up.
Get out of my head, Ed. You're copying me. He's okay. Go ahead. I'm not going to steal your thunder. Go for it. Go
No,
for
you're
it.
good, but yeah, I mean, the Patriots, they played fairly well, especially with another rookie QB, with Mac Jones. So I mean, it's a hit or miss between the Bills and the Patriots. The Jets, they're like the Lions. The Jets are the Jets.
Yep.
So, and then Miami, they're still iffy about Tua. So, yep.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole Miami deal. They had some crazy stuff coming out with the Flores and being offered $100,000 to lose each game or
But
whatever.
But now he's with the Steelers. So.
Yeah. Well, he's as a coordinator.
Yep.
So, but that's still, I mean, the front office, the organization that did that was
Yeah.
offering him payoffs to lose,
Yeah.
is still in charge. So, and McDaniels, apparently he's kind of a weird guy. Anyway, that's the Dolphins. I got to go with the Bills or the Patriots. I mean, like Ed was saying, Tristan, it's like you're saying, the Buffalo is built to win
Right
now.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting. That's going to be a really tight. I think that and AFC North are going to be the two tightest races next year. I think unless like Aaron Rodgers winds up in Denver or something, then that's going to be a tight
Yeah.
race in the West. So, but yeah, I think it's hard to say. It's the Bills or the Patriots. I'm not going to. It's too soon to settle.
This is where I'm sitting at with Buffalo. Buffalo, like, that's the key. That's the whole essential thing of all this. Josh Allen is a premier quarterback. He has every talent around him to go against the Chiefs. And yes, I'm gonna put the Chiefs up there. It's the Chiefs. That is the team you have to focus on to say, hey, if we're gonna go anywhere, we got to beat that team.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati had to beat the Chiefs. No one in the AFC now. You're not going to go nowhere if you cannot beat the rival team. Remember we talked about previously, it was New England. Someone had to beat New England to get to where they're at. Now it's Kansas City. And gradually with Buffalo, with them picking up Emmanuel Sanders, that kind of helped a little, but not enough. I mean, Dawson Knox just stepped it up like towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if he would stay more consistent during the regular season, that would help as well. But I truly believe it's the run game, and they still need they need to work on the secondary. They gave up a lot of critical plays in the secondary.
They've got Micah Hyde in the safety, who's great. Their safeties are great, but their cornerbacks need They need a little help on the corners.
White was injured, like.
Right.
I heard that was a critical. Yeah, that was.
And he's like a great cornerback.
But New England is in the mist.
Yeah.
You can never count out Mr. Belichick. You can never count him out.
But you're looking at putting in a new offensive coordinator. So I don't know. I'm sure they'll work.
I wonder
it out
how
well.
he'll do when we'll talk about Josh McDaniels when he heads to Las Vegas. So we'll see how he works out there. Last but not least, we have the AFC West champions, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah, it got real quiet. It was real quiet when they lost. So let's.
It was real quiet at that AFC Championship
I
game.
know, right? so you guys finished off 12-5, Tristan. You know, 12-5. That's respectable. You guys came back. Amazing. By the way, that was just amazing how you guys turned it around. And then also picking up Ingram. That was a great essential grab from Pittsburgh. But I'm going to ask you, Tristan. So you guys finish off 12-5. I know you're going to say that they're going to win the division game. That's of course. But let's just look outside in. Who do you believe could give you maybe a little run for your division?
Chargers.
And
Chargers
why?
have Justin Herbert.
Right.
You know, you have that franchise quarterback. He's great. He's amazing. So, I think with Justin Herbert and all their offensive weapons, you know, they have a good defense too. It's the Chargers. And, you know, Broncos, they're still fourth, so.
No one was talking about Denver. Right? Nobody was talking about Denver. All right, Ed.
Yeah, I think I want to side with the Chargers, but you know, Kansas City's Kansas City. It's just, you know, a great team. You know, Tyreek, Kelsey, Mahomes, Clyde Edwards, Frank Clark, Jones. You know, it just the list goes on, and just, you know, the talent is there. You know, they're ready to win now, and I won't be surprised if we get another KC Buffalo game in the AFC Championship, but this time it will be in Buffalo.
Okay.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
The Chargers are such a mystery team all the time. I never can like confidently put my name behind them because they look great one week and then they just look horrible the next. Yeah. It's such a Jekyll and Hyde team, which is why I would say probably this year I think the Raiders. I think McDaniel's gonna really figure out how to get Waller involved, right? The tight end there a lot more so than he was involved. And as everyone was like, oh, he's a great tight end, which he is, but they never seem to use it. But I think McDaniels knows how to do that right, and he knows how to rush properly. So I think Jacobs is going to have a good year too. Not that they're going to take the division. That's my guess for someone being close. Denver now, unless Denver pulls off some crazy deal with a new quarterback, say Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. Something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
I
Russell
agree with
Wilson.
Because if they get an Aaron Rodgers, man, they'll be dead.
I think if they had Russell Wilson too, man.
I'll even take Jimmy Garoppolo. I'd take him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Andy Dalton.
No. Anyways, no, he needs to stay retired. So here's the thing: Kansas City, they're the cream of the crop, pretty much. They're there. They're on top. So we're going to leave them right there up top. So now on the bottom, the Chargers. Justin Herbert's a great player to watch, but he drives me nuts when he's making boneheaded plays. The thing is, they gotta play smart, and that falls on the coach as well. They gotta play smart. Keenan Allen is still in there, even though he's getting a little older. But Mike Williams, what's his Golian? What's the wide receiver? Golian, I can't remember.
I can't pronounce
See, there
it.
we go again.
Yeah.
We got to do our homework, you guys. But now with Austin Eckler's still a good
He's a
wide
beast.
running back.
Yeah, one of the best.
Now, if they can get someone bigger to help out, that'd be great. They'll be set. Now, Denver, we have the pieces. I'm excited. Thank goodness we got rid of Coach Van whatever his name is. Go see your way out. Yeah, get out of here. Defensively, he's a good coordinator.
I was pretty
but
impressed by what he did with having not really much in the quarterback.
But look at it like this,
area.
though. When you really look at the games against Kansas City, he gave Kansas City a little bit of a hard time.
He
A
did.
little bit.
Yeah, they
Not
had some
bad.
good-
Not bad. But I'm glad we're moving on. We picked up the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. So that's why we were hoping. And then we picked up someone else from the Green Bay office.
hoping that Aaron Rodgers
so
would
let's-
come with him.
let's
following
hope.
him on
We
down.
picked up Matt Nagy as our
Do you see
they
how
really?
you see how the conversation
as
got,
our quarterbacks coach.
yeah, you see how it got quiet?
I
Let me go ahead and unplug you real
we,
quick.
we pick people up too.
This guy. Anyways, so now that pretty much concludes the division winner. So far, yes. So we voted that Kansas City will go back. We've got Buffalo. Did anybody switch on Tennessee? Did we all vote on Tennessee?
I had Jags, man.
Okay, so that's a no. Cincinnati.
Super Bowl champs.
I think Baltimore was what most people said.
Okay,
for
so that's
that
a
one.
no.
Or it was 2-2.
How about the Rams?
Rams? I got
Mostly,
Okay,
yeah.
Dallas, yes. Tampa Bay, yes. And Green Bay, yes. All right. So quick breakdown. You pick your team or teams. Okay, I'll give you like 2 or 3. I'm gonna start this off with you. Who you feel is going to be the most improved team going into the new year? And let's start off with AFC.
Improved, most improved. I'm going to start with the Ravens because they're going to be healthy to start. So that's the most improved number 1. Number 2, most improved. That's tough. I'm going to go with the Raiders because they are going to have a coach that's not that I think is going to actually do pretty good on a second go around being a coach. So that's my 2 most improved. Raiders and Ravens.
And then my 2, I'll start with the NFC.
Well, let's start AFC. We'll go
AFC, okay.
He's trying to take over the show. You see that? Look at that. This guy.
No, so most likely Baltimore and probably Indy.
Ooh, nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like those picks, Baltimore and Indy. You know, simply because healthy team, Indy because more experience.
I took Baltimore. I just feel that if our guy, Lamar can throw the ball right, and just kind of just slow down the tempo, believe in what they're trying to do, and then get that running game. That's what he was missing. That run game. We need Dobbins to come back healthy. Everyone's going to come back. And then just get that started. I mean, Mark Andrews was awesome. Him and Lamar, they have a great connection there. So hopefully they will get their pieces together. But I see them improving going on the next year. And then also, I'm going to throw it out there. Yeah, I picked the Los Angeles Chargers. I just feel that they got now some experience going in. They know how to match up against Kansas City. If they can just sweep them and not always break 1-1. But so far, they've gone into Arrowhead and beaten them twice already, right? Twice, but then they go to Los Angeles and they beat them over. So it's just making no sense there. So now let's go ahead and move on to the NFC side. I'm going to start that off with you, Tristan. Who do you feel is going to make the improvements going on in the next year?
Who do I feel is going to make the most improvements? That's tough.
On the NFC, yeah, it feels like there's no real up and comers, does
That's
it?
what I feel like.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, in most divisions. Let me look at the team.
Wow, really?
I've got
Eagles.
one.
I'll say.
Oh
Eagles.
no, that's the one I
Because
had.
man,
They were
Okay,
getting
okay.
it. They were
And
putting
why?
it together.
I like the players and Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. You know?
Yeah.
And I think they got a good offense. They just need to, fix up the defense a little bit. But I feel like the Eagles could give the Cowboys a run for their money at some points. They just need a little more rebuilding and get more experience in.
Well, the Eagles, that was one that I definitely had. They actually made a pretty good go of it this year. They had a shot at the playoffs, and they really started to get gelled and started coming together. And I think another year under Jalen's belt, hopefully a full year, and he's not sitting out and such. I think that's a big one. And kind of weird to say because they did make the playoffs, but I think that the Cardinals are going to be quite a bit improved next year. I think that's going to come together a little more.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Philly and 49ers.
Oh, okay. I like that. I'm going to stick with the San Francisco 49ers. I just feel that you can't count out Kyle Shanahan. That guy always finds a way to get back. He'll go down one year rise to the next year occasion. The thing is that look what he did, was able to turn the team around and get them all the way to the NFC Championship. So I'm gonna give them that. Also, I'm gonna throw you guys off here. I'm gonna say Minnesota.
I like that one.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to say they'll go deep in the playoffs, but I'm going to give it to Minnesota because now they've got a good run game. They've got awesome wide receivers. The question is going to be on the defense side. Are they going to make critical key plays for them to stay on them? Because they have beaten Green Bay. They know how to match up to Green Bay, and I know that's Aaron Rodgers' non-favorite team to play against besides stomping Chicago every year. So that's where I'm looking at. So we will talk more about the NFL when that time comes. Unfortunately, since the season's over, we're moving on. So football's going to stay aside. So let's go ahead and talk about the last but not least. Who do you think, and we can talk about it before we close that one out, who do you think would go to a Super Bowl next year?
Like, you want me to be biased?
Whatever, just go for it. Man.
Kansas City and Rams.
Okay.
This is probably going to be a crazy pick, but Buffalo 49ers.
Not that crazy. I was going to say Buffalo and Green Bay.
I don't know about that.
I'm going I'm going to go right
Good
now.
pick,
So for the record, I'm going to go Buffalo, and I will take. Oh, this is. I see it. I see it. It's going to be. The 49ers. I like that.
Ooh.
Buffalo and San Francisco.
Is Tom Brady going to be playing for the 49ers?
No, he's probably making on his.
know.
He's probably going to be making a sequel in the next movie.
Okay. Well, I got most degressed teams 49ers.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Declining teams.
decline.
Yeah.
Like his voice. This
Yeah,
decline.
my fault.
It's straight decline. But all right, you guys, we'll talk more about the NFL later on throughout the months. But in the meantime, we're just going to have to let football go for now, and then we're going to be focusing on the NBA. We're going to be also focusing on March Madness. So for all the basketball fans out there, we will cover the top 10 until coming up to March Madness, and then we will break down the bracket. So let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Razor Cut Information would like to thank you, Ernie Reles, at State Farm, located at 11330 East Central, Wichita, Kansas. Please visit Ernie to talk about your home, auto, life insurance needs. As they say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Thank you, Ernie.
All right. So the upcoming shows that we're going to be having, we will, like we mentioned before, we will talk about the March Madness. We'll talk about the NBA and Chuck's Dugout. Now, before we go into that show, we're still trying to figure out what's going on in the baseball. Any news on that?
I think that they were supposed to sit down today again, but it sounds like there's no. Last I heard, the players' union was like, well, "Let's do it. What was it going to take?" And the owners were being like, "Nope, we're not. We're not paying you any money now." So, I don't know. I don't know what anybody wants.
Yeah, well, that's a subject.
Anyone else?
That's a subject for another day.
Where's Chuck at? He's our baseball guy, but it seems like it's rich guys and really rich guys that are fighting over their pieces of the pie.
But hey, at least we have the World Cup, so we will do some covering of the World
Yes.
Cup. So all the soccer fans, we're going to take care of you guys, so don't worry. Last but not least, we have a new segment. It's called Eddie's Critical Sports Thoughts. So, hey, the man with the plan there. So the question I want to ask you, what is your thoughts on, will Tom Brady officially retire, really retire, or this is just a publicity stunt?
Man, it's hard to pick. I probably feel that he's done. He's really done for good. I want to say, just based on reports and sources I've been, listening to, reading about, they're saying that he may pop up as, Jimmy G's replacement, but he's probably done, which is very, hard to, swallow. One of the greatest, hanging them up. So, yeah, I think that's my pick. I mean, I won't be surprised if, something comes up and he decides to unretire, but based on, just what he has said, what his teams has said, his agent. So, yeah, I think
Okay, thanks for that. And Tristan?
Yeah, I think he's done.
Okay, simple. That was simple. I like that. Chris?
I think he's done. It'd be cool if he came. I think it'd be neat if he came back and did the whole.
I wouldn't. He needs to be done, bro. He's been in the year for he's been in the league for 20 years. He needs to chill out and just
He needs to chill out.
Go have fun with your kids. Stop playing.
He does need to.
Oh, so he's a guidance counselor. I like that. You see, you're in the wrong profession, Tristan. You need to be in family counseling. This
But I
guy.
mean, definitely just how he went out, against the Rams. I just really, really hope he can at least come back for at least one more season.
Here's my thing. You nailed it on the dot. San Francisco. That is his team. He is from the Bay. He's from California, and he is a huge 49er fan. He looked up to Joe Montana. That would be kind of an interesting thing to see him go into San Francisco, put on a 49er jersey, and see what he can do because they've got the weapons there. But I think he got a little bit of a simp mode going on. I think Giselle's telling him, hey, you need to stay home, watch the kids. I'm tired of babysitting. So he's trying to. He's got other endeavors as well.
I think he's done unless someone throws a buttload of money at him. I think he's kind of like, maybe done, guys, unless someone's gonna sweeten that pot.
But I mean, if it happens, I'm definitely picking. The Niners
him to win his
next year.
division.
No, to win it all next year.
To win it all, there
The
you go.
talent's there.
Well, and if it's the Niners, Kyle Shanahan, he's already a genius, and they got a great defense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll just have to. We'll just wait to remain seen. So we'll see what goes on there. So, next up on the show. So we do have upcoming. We have Wichita Vice. We also have Silver Cosmo movie reviews. We're going to be doing sneak peek. Here you go, you guys. We're going to be talking about Escape from New York, and also we're going to do Big Trouble in Little China. So we're going to talk about that.
Come on, Wong.
And also, we're still debating on who we're going to choose for the heroes and villains for Wichita Vice. So you guys will find out shortly. And also follow us. We're on iTunes, Spotify, on YouTube as well. And also, last but not least, we are going to be doing another episode of The Cutting Crew. And also next week, we're going to introduce our first pilot episode of Packs and Stacks. So for all my gym goers, fitness, nutritionists, you name it, we're calling you guys all out. We're finally going to do a show for you guys as well. So before we go, any shout outs before we go, Tristan?
Not really. Thanks for having me. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, just another big shout out to you, Carlos. just for inviting me once again. I appreciate it, and great team. Great talk. And a lot of knowledge I'm gaining.
Big shout out to Eric and all the other guys and the crew putting this thing on wax and getting it out to the people.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pal, also for making the designs. I mean,
good job.
I couldn't
Pal.
do it without you guys putting it together and getting it out on the live stream. And also, I'd like to thank the friends and family that listen. And also, I want to say that for all my local businesses, if you guys would like to get your name promoted out, or if you guys want to do shout outs for you guys, hey, we'll do it. We are going nation, city to city, coast to coast. We're international now. Can you believe that? We're there, you guys. So if you guys need to put your business out, hey, come talk to us. We'll make something happen. Get your name out. And also, hey, I'll even do, if you need me to do your proposal or engagement, hey, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. I'll put the best words. We'll put in the music. We'll butter it up. We'll make it nice. We'll do it for you guys.
Put it on the video.
You see, you took that to a whole nother level.
Hey.
I wasn't ready for that, but you know what? Since you said it, we'll do it. Sky's the limit. But I just want to say thank you guys for making it possible. So we'll look forward to hearing from you guys to the next episode. Take care.